In the name of Allah, most beneficent, most merciful. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon His Prophet Muhammad, his progeny, and his companions, as well as all those who follow his footpath until the day of judgment. Viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I once again welcome you to the program Islam is a Way of Life, being brought to you by Dankulum Television. As usual, my name is Aminu Aliyu Gusau. Viewers, we are aware that it has taken a long time since last we met on this program. It is therefore incumbent upon me to bring back to your memory the lessons that we have treated so far before we can continue. We are trying to say that Islam is a way of life. In fact, we are saying that Islam is not just a way of life, it is the only way of life. Why? Because it is the only way of life that is enjoined upon us by our Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now this brings us to the question of the position of religion. Because Islam is a religion, and people always say there are so many religions. So why should Islam be the only way of life? What about other religions? That is why we treated the topic of polytheism. We first of all tried to establish the fact that religion has a very great role to play in the lives of people. Religion is very relevant in our way of life, in our life. Nowadays, so many people try to say that religion has become outdated. It has outlived its purpose. It has outlived its use. So if we want to treat the topic that Islam is a way of life, we have to first of all rebut this position. We have to re-establish the fact that religion still is very much relevant to our life. And that is why we started by first of all eliminating all the other religions that are not Islam. So we treated polytheism and we showed how polytheistic teachings or religions that are based on polytheism cannot properly be referred to as religions. They are not religions. So if we are talking of religion, we cannot include polytheism, because polytheism is a way of religion, a way of worship that acknowledges other creatures as their own gods. That is, they attribute supernatural powers. They attribute the ability to create and to control lives to other creatures that are similar to them. In fact, sometimes they even attribute these attributes to non-living things. For instance, they will accept the sun, with the moon, with the stars, with the mountains, with the rivers and the oceans as their own objects of worship. And we know that these creatures are non-living. They don't have life. So they don't have intellect. They have no cognition. Therefore, they cannot be the objects of worship of human beings. It is retrogression. That is, human beings have taken themselves backwards because they are living things They have reason, they have cognitive attributes, but yet they say the non-living things are masters over them. This is a very awkward way of thinking. So, in fact, polytheism and polytheistic religions cannot be properly addressed as religions. We treated this topic, and it is my hope that the lessons we tried to bring out have been well accepted and well received by our viewers. Then we went ahead to try to define what religion actually should be. So we said that religion actually means the recognition of a creator for all the creatures that we see. That none of these creatures can be the creator by itself. That the creator has to be different from all the creatures that we see, whether living or non-living. So a religion is a system which establishes or which recognizes a creator, a supernatural being that is different from all the other living things or non-living things that we live together with and which surround us, whether we know them or don't know them, whether we can see them or we can't see them. We establish the fact that religion is a system of life which teaches that there is a contact, communication between this creator and human beings. The creator is the controller of everything that is in the universe, and that there is a communication system between the creator and we human beings. And that communication system is through some other human beings that are provided by the creator with the intellectual capacity to communicate supernaturally with the creator. And these particular human beings are referred to as prophets and messengers of Allah. They are the ones, or they were the ones who were able to communicate with the creator. At times, this communication was direct, while other times it was through the offices of some other beings, which are referred to as angels. So, in most cases, it is the angels who used to bring these messages to the messengers. We treated this topic also. Now, we went ahead to discuss that even those religions that recognize a single creator for the universe and multiple, that is, there are multiple religions. Islam is just one of those religions that recognize a single creator for the universe. And Islam is one of the religions that recognize the office of the prophets, that is, office of prophethood. That is, the office of those individuals who had the capacity to communicate with the Creator in any way, out of the ways that they used to communicate with Him. So why should we now claim that Islam is the only way of life that is acceptable to the Creator? What about the other religions? So we summarized that of all the religions that were based on the office of prophethood, there remain only 3 now that can compete to the position of authenticity These three are Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. So we now tried to show that both Judaism and Christianity have become, so to say, they have been tampered with, and some things that were not brought by the prophets were included in these religions, so that these two religions are no longer authentic. We tried to show that the scholars of Judaism had arrogated upon themselves the right to tamper with the religion of Allah by making some things that were made, that were prohibited by Allah. They now allowed them, and some other things that were not that were allowed by Allah were now prohibited by them. So the scholars arrogated upon themselves the power now and the authority to define what religion is and to change the laws of Allah as brought about by the prophets. This was what happened. This, what we are saying, is not far-fetched. If you go to the books of the Judaism, you will see it that the scholars had not, they had made this issue very clear. They had not tried to hide the fact that they tampered with the laws of Allah. They only tried to rationalize why they did so, but they accepted that they did it. So that the Talmud, which is the next book after Torah for Jews, the Talmud consists of all the teachings of the scholars. That is how the scholars had been tampering with the laws of Allah. So if you read the Torah, you will see that what is there in the Torah is not what is there in the Talmud. And and the Jews used the Talmud more than they used the Torah. Maybe we can bring one example here. In the Torah, you will see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said that a year consists of 12 months. That is when the moon in the space, the moon that we look at, when you count 12 moons, that is 12 months, that makes a year. This is what is in the Torah. But if you go to the Talmud now, you will see that the Jewish scholars had now made a year, some years. They made it 13 months instead of 12 months. So this is the way the Jewish scholars had been changing the religion of Allah as brought by the prophets, out to the stage where now in the Talmud you can see that the Jews or the Jewish religion teaches that God created human beings in his own likeness. That is to say, God is a human being. So they gave Allah a body and they made him look like a human being. So this is the way the Jewish religion had been tampered with. The Torah was tampered with, and the Talmud was created. The Torah was the book of Allah, but so much of it was tampered with. But the Talmud is the book of the scholars, which they created by themselves. And now those people who follow the Jewish religion follow the Talmud more than even they follow the Torah, despite the fact that even the Torah was tampered with also. So by this, we tried to show that the Jewish religion, which is called Judaism, is no longer capable of claiming the authenticity needed for it to be the true religion of Allah. We will stop here, and inshallah we will continue during the next program. Assalamu alaikum.